What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you another NFL prediction video on Dalvin Cook. I believe the free agent will sign with the Dallas Cowboys prior to the playoffs starting, so let's talk about why. But before we get into that, guys, I want to give you my thoughts on Dalvin Cook, throughout the summer, also through his team with the Jets, and as well as some alternative options to the Cowboys if I am wrong in my prediction. So let's get into it, guys. So as far as Dalvin Cook's season goes, I'm very surprised. The summer prior to the season starting, I was very early. I was one of the few that was very early on Dalvin Cook being moved. I did a video, I believe, in February or early March, saying that Dalvin Cook should be traded, or should be cut, and not because he wasn't a good running back anymore, just because of the running back value was so low. I forgot how much money he was supposed to be paid, but it was too much for my liking as a non-Vikings fan. Just seeing the landscape of running back's value, I didn't think Cook was worth that much, plus the injuries, all that stuff, right? Then I did a video later on doing this, because his situation with the Vikings dragged out for a little while. So I did a video later on saying, the Jets need a running back. They got Rodgers now. I thought the Jets should trade for him. I was partly right. The Jets ended up signing him in free agency a couple weeks or a month later after that video I did. I was on the mark there, but I did not think Dalvin Cook would have no impact dang near with the Jets team. He didn't play the last two games, so prior to the last two games, he only tallied 214 yards on 67 carries in 15 games played. That's insane. That's ridiculous. And people were saying he was washed prior to the season. I didn't think he was this washed. Like, I thought, okay, maybe a step down or a two from Pro Bowl level, not elite anymore. That's fine. Still be good. Still be serviceable. He's not been good at all. He's looked better in certain moments, as the season has went on. But I mean, it's really confusing to me how he went from fringe Pro Bowl or a pretty good player last year to drop off the face of the earth as far as talent goes. Now, for him and the Jets to part ways, first off, shout out to the Jets, because they're better than me. If I sign you for $7 million and you basically give me no production, I'm not letting you go nowhere. I'm going to pay that money. You're going to sit your butt on the bench and just chill out. Or I'm going to play you and you're going to earn that money the last games. But, as we see now, the Jets did part ways with him. And I'm sure Cook wanted out as well. As I said, the report says everything is mutual on both ends. So it makes me think some teams have been saying to Cook or his agent, let him free, and we'll have a spot for him on our roster. And I have a couple teams in mind, but like I said, my option, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. To me, it made the most sense. For one, Tony Pollard hasn't been how we all thought he could have been. Last year being the better back between him and Zeke, he was more explosive, he was stronger, faster, all that stuff. But the injury last year, the hip drop injury, could have done some damage to him. He's not as explosive as he was. He's not as good as he was the last couple of years. So that's one thing as well. Also the workload being the main back. We see as well he can't handle it. And also from that standpoint, his number two running back, Rico Dowdle, who's out last week as well with the ankle injury, he's down. So you have Deuce Vaughn backing up. You have some guys on the practice squad as well who are decent. But I think you could also go into the playoffs, boosting up their running back spot a little stronger behind them, behind Pollard. Also with Rico being out for who knows how long, you can bring in Dalvin Cook for some good depth in the running spot, as well as the Cowboys' offensive line. They unlike the Jets, they have one of the better O-lines in the NFL. So if you're gonna have a washed-up running back or a not so good running back behind an O-line, you would want to choose that Dallas Cowboys offensive line. So I think the Dallas Cowboys are clear and cut favorites, the best option, going with the best scheme fit, the best overall fit. Now you want to talk about alternative options and also a fit, just because of connection. You can go with his brother and the Buffalo Bills. Now everyone seems to want him to go there just to be with his brother. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It'd be cool. but James is clearly the better player. James, I wouldn't take out James for Dalvin right now at all. Like Dalvin could come on the roster and be behind him just in case of injury. But I mean, I'm good. I'm not. Nah. I'm keeping James Cook as my RB1 and RB2 if you give me Dalvin Cook as a secondary option. Cook, like I said, Dalvin hasn't been playing nowhere near the level James has, and but just as far as storyline goes and the feel good story, the brothers on the same team, yeah, that's cool. But can Dalvin really help the Buffalo Bills win? I don't know. The O line isn't great as far as the running run blocking go. James has had success pass catching and running, but Dalvin hasn't had success doing neither this season. So, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm leaning towards the Cowboys on that one. Another option, the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, it seems like this is their year. Everything's going their way. Only one major injury as of right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, it stays this way. So we can see what Lamar Jackson has with a full roster, fully healthy, going to the playoffs as the number one seed. But they're always injury away for the most part. So you want to add on as much players as you can. And I think having Dalvin Cook added to the running back roster would make sense. I know they have Melvin Gordon now as their third string guy. You have Gus Edwards. You have Justice Hill. So it's like, do you really have a need for Dalvin Cook when you just had Melvin Gordon score a touchdown last game and him, being in that proverbial Dalvin Cook role if Dalvin Cook were to come a backup to the backup? Like, I don't mind it, but is the need really there? That's the real question, and the Ravens at some moments really love to have the ball control aspect of the offense, and just run the ball, run down your throat, stuff like that, and really take away a lot of time off the clock. So, Cook could be a good mix-up back between Gus and Justice Hill, but I mean, you have Melvin Gordon, so I don't really see the need there, honestly. Now, my second option to the Dallas Cowboys, kind of a surprising one. It's not the Browns. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they could really have a need for Dalvin Cook with White, who's rich, who's almost at 100. Not 100,000. He's almost at 1,000 yards rushing this season. Who had a good year, had a pretty good year. He was kind of projected to be this style of quarterback, good through the air. He was. I can't even talk right now. He was thought of to be this style of running back, 1,000 yards in the air, 400, 500 yards. Receiving somewhere in that range, and he's been around that area, since being drafted by the Bucs during the Tom Brady era, and he's been good, But with the looming matchup between the Eagles, probably in the first round, Bucs. I think the Bucs will be at home most likely versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We've seen the running game, the running defense for the Eagles be trash. We've seen that they gave up 100+ yards the last 4 or 5 games to some sorry teams, So I think if you bring in Dalvin Cook, have him prime and ready for that Eagles matchup next week, excuse me, that would make a lot of sense. Give him some added depth, give him an added weapon, give him an added piece to go at the Eagles, and then as the playoff goes on, hopefully the Bucs, for the Bucs fans continue to keep pushing and keep going, he could find his legs a little bit more and do some more damage in certain moments in certain spots. So I like the Bucs as a good secondary option. If I had to rank them, obviously not my Cowboys, but the Cowboys are number one on my list. Number 2, the Bucs. And between the Ravens and the Bills, I guess I'll go the Bills. That makes more sense to me than the Ravens. And more of a feel-good story. The Ravens, I really don't see the need. You got Melvin Gordon, Justice Hill, and Gus Edwards. I mean, for added depth, if you want it, I guess it'd be cool. But I don't see the need. I really don't see the need there. I truly don't. So those are my 4. I guess an extra bonus dark horse team would be the Cleveland Browns. Everyone or a lot of people want them to add Dalvin Cook. Kareem Hunt, Jerome Ford there, I don't really see the need either. But another mix up back that can mix it in and mix it up a little bit could definitely, I guess add something to the offense. But I'm probably good with those two guys there. Those two guys are doing fine. How they are with the carries that they're getting, the workload they're getting for the Browns. So those are my top four with a bonus of the Cleveland Browns. I don't really see any other team. People want the Chiefs. Eh, nah. They have enough going on with their receivers. I don't want to add in a washed up Dalvin Cook to that. I think they're fine with what they have as well. If you had another receiver, that's available, then yeah. But Cook is not that, so I think they're gonna be fine with what they have at the running back spot. So that's why I have the Cowboys. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure he'll sign sometime this week doing this video on Wednesday. So I would think, Thursday, Friday, they'll get him in, practice squad, and, have him training and stuff, getting ready for the playoffs starting next week. So depends on who he play for. If he go to the Ravens, he'll get an extra week off. If not, he's going to be probably on the active roster actually next week. Might be getting some burn on the actual playoff team. So we'll see where it goes, see how it happens. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.